What's up, gentlemen? So it has officially been 365 days since I started using the bathmate pump.
Hey guys, it's Hink here, and we're back once again with this dude that just cannot help himself with telling some of the most egregious lies that I've just ever heard in the PE world. There is some stuff we can learn from it, so there's some good, it's not all bad. But guys, we're going to break down this video and basically what you can expect as far as your enlargement process within a year. But before we do that, guys, we're doing another giveaway. Any of these Leviathan products below that you want, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel. Do it right now. Like the video, and then leave a comment with what Leviathan product you want to try. And what I will do is I'll reach out to you to get your contact information, and wherever you are, worldwide, as long as they allow shipping there, you can have the product of your choice. See the links in the description for the full catalog of what you want. But let's get right into it.
I knew that I wasn't alone, right? I knew that if I was struggling with something in terms of insecurity, a lot of guys were struggling as well. And judging from the views of my most popular videos, right, about how to make it bigger, I wasn't alone.
Once again, I have applauded him before. Hats off to him for just making this a topic. So many people refuse to even acknowledge like men's penis health as like an actual topic, or the fact that like penis insecurities are real things, small penis syndrome, body dysmorphia syndrome. I have made a whole other video about that if you want to check it out. I do applaud him for actually bringing this to the table and making it known that, guys, you're not alone if you're insecure about the size of your penis.
And I think that really one of the things and issues that we've gotten into our head is that we need to be hung like a donkey, right? Big, thick, long, and hammered away for 45 minutes in order to satisfy a woman. Why would we think that? Because of the movies, right?
And so I actually really like this part here. I don't actually get bothered by comments that much anymore, but one of the things that still really pisses me off is when I see that one guy in the comments that's like, my ex dated somebody and he was 12 inches by 17 inches and that was the only thing, and even she said that wasn't big. Or these guys that just have these exaggerated stories that even think like, okay, no, average is actually 8 by 6. Like, you guys are wrong. You're flat out wrong and you don't understand the data. The average penile size is about 5.12 bone pressed, okay, inches by somewhere around 4.5 inches. That is the national average within a typical range. So don't be fooled by these videos and don't be fooled by these idiots in the comments that really don't know what they're talking about.
Fortunately, it's not, but it doesn't matter. If you're insecure, it doesn't matter. And so for me, even though everybody I've ever been with has been like, oh no, you're good, you're awesome, whatever, oh man, you're the best, right? I've always in the back of my head thought, maybe I'm not.
Like, guys, I started out above average. One could argue, I argue that for my size, like, it appeared small in my frame, but I would have chicks that would tell me like, oh, it's the perfect size. Due to my own insecurities, I thought there was a problem with me. Or if a girl didn't tell me it was big, it means that she thought she was small. And so when you're insecure, your insecurities can play games with your head. And so once again, I do appreciate him bringing this to light.
About including Derek from More Plates, More Dates. And he basically was the one that got me kind of like interested in this product because he preached it, he believed it, he used it, and so I decided to give it a try.
And I do think this clip was kind of funny because me and him have the same origin story of basically seeing Derek More Plates, More Dates video about, you know, how this is actually possible and it actually works. And it's both a guy that, you know, we trust, and I'm hoping that I can be the guy that you kind of trust really about this whole PE game. But it was kind of funny that we have the same kind of villain origin story, if you will.
I tried them all. I started with basically the Hydro, which was the first version. It was good. And I noticed like it was awesome. But then the next one like was like that much better. The Hydro Max. And then I tried this one, the Hydro Extreme with the ball, right? And this was like game over, you win.
Here in this clip, he's like breaking down the different pumps. But of course, he's like, oh, the one you need is the most expensive one. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with him when you're just specifically talking about the basically the BM line of products, but he's immediately trying to like hawk you on the most expensive pump. I have an entire pumping playlist. I'll have Cali put the link in the description and put the little card up on the screen. But guys, I've talked to you about how to do penile enlargement safely. When you have that standard BM device where you're jamming it into your penis, you're putting yourself at risk. You have your neurovascular bundle that sits in that area. Your suspensory ligament sits right in that area. Your fungiform ligament is right in that area. And not only that, when you are jamming in that device, water doesn't have as much give. It doesn't contract like air does. And so if you were jamming that water out, you're shooting out that water, you're going to have a dramatic and an immediate rise in pressure. And I can't tell you honestly, guys, how many guys, you know, it hasn't been like more than 10, but it's been a good number that have permanently damaged themselves because they were using the BM device and they jammed it in on their pelvis and it shot the water out and they felt a pop, and that was it, because they are not appropriately coached and they don't know what they're getting into because they see like this video that just say, oh, you need to just start with the most expensive and the most powerful pump. It'll make your wiener bigger, and that's what you need to do. One of the main things that I don't like about this BM device is, number one, they're promoting the marketing like crazy, but it also costs about 3 times as much as it should. Guys, you can get a high quality pump with a gauge that you can use water or air with. If you get a water trap, you can get that entire kit on peakmalephysique.com, including basically a hanging kit and including the brake bleeder that you can use air and water, the kit, and basically everything for about a third of the price for one of these BM devices, guys. And so they jack up this price and put these astronomical overhead because they know guys will pay it.
The first time I tried the Hydro Extreme, I ended up hurting myself. And I'm just being honest. I overdid it a little bit.
And guys, here, like plain as day, like what did I just say? And this device alone goes up to over 17 inches of mercury, which is extremely dangerous to be pumping in that pressures. Please be very careful.
This is not a toy. And that is the first thing I just need you to understand. This is not something that like you just put on, you pump it up, and like that's it.
And guys, he does make a decent point here. This is not a toy, though it is sold in a lot of like shops that, you know, market this as a toy, but it is not. It is very dangerous. Now, it can cause significant gains. I'm not going to lie to you and say that this product doesn't work, but it can be very dangerous, especially when done incorrectly.
And what happens is over time, by stretching the chamber out, it's going to permanently basically allow more blood to flow. The more blood that flows in, it's basically going to stretch it out.
If you don't know the science, just shut the hell up and just let somebody else, you know, talk about it, okay? No, that's not how it actually works. When you're using the negative pressure created by the pump, it causes the dilation of both your corpus cavernosum and your corpus spongiosum on the other side, including the glands of your penis, and it chronically dilates that tissue over time. Now, it can help with things like erectile function, absolutely, but the main mechanism that it works by is actually chronic dilation of the chambers, leading to a permanently basically stretched out chamber, leading to the increased size.
I went from like this to like this. I gained like over 1.5 inches in terms of like thickness. And for me, that was the biggest game changer because I was already like 6 inches. In terms of length, I did add about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm right around like 7 inches now.
This clip here makes me want to throw my computer at the wall or my phone, whatever I was watching it on. Guys, you are not gaining 1.5 inches in girth in a year. You're not. I don't care what anybody says. You're not doing it. And I'm not trying to be a naysayer. I'm not trying to be negative, but you need to have realistic expectations. If you go into this expecting to gain 1.5 inches in a year, you are going to be sorely disappointed, no matter what kind of marketing gimmick. Let's break this down. So he says that he gained 1.5 inches in girth and 3/4 of an inch in length. And the time frame with which he does this is just insulting that he thinks you're stupid enough to believe this. So there's a website called CalcSD. You guys should check it out to see how you actually stack up before you consider doing any kind of penis enlargement. He says that he started at 6 inches. That's his word, about 6 inches. So let's just give him the benefit of the doubt, which is about, you know, I'll put here this clip of CalcSD. So you're already almost in the 80th percentile. Let's say he was 6 by 4.8, which I think is, you know, a pretty average girth, okay? Starting to get, you know, almost towards the bigger side of average, but still. So let's say he was 6 by 4.8. That would mean that he had basically his penile volume was already almost at the 75th percentile of guys, meaning in a room of 1,000, only 265 would be bigger. According to basically what he says he gains, so he goes from 6 to 6.75 inches, already almost at the 98th percentile, okay? Just with length alone being 6.75 inches bone pressed. And then taking him, adding 1.5 inches in girth would take him from 4.8 inches to 6.3 inches, which is ungodly big, okay? In a room of 1,000 people, nobody is going to be bigger than you. That would mean he literally doubled his penile volume from 5.49 to 10.63 flow ounces. That would put him greater than 99.99% of guys. Does that seem realistic to you guys? I mean, does that seem logical? That's absolute horse shit. Do not believe this. Now, you can make gains, but you're not going to make this. You're not going to double the size of your dick, okay? You're just not. At least not in that time frame, guys.
After about, I would say, I don't know, probably about 6 months.
So guys, in this clip, he says that he plateaued at right at about 6 months. He wasn't gaining anything additionally. So he's basically saying that in 6 months, he gained 1.5 inches in girth. his gains plateaued, and he basically went into maintenance mode.
Because I was using it literally like every other day. Then I backed off to about 3 times a week, and now I'm basically using this about 2 times a week.
Like he talks about here, guys. And so he says that he was only doing this every other day. So he wasn't even doing it every day. He was doing it every other day, then backed off to 3 times per week, and now only does it twice per week and put on 0.75 inches in length and 1.5 inches in girth. Does that at all, in any kind of reality, seem reasonable? To me, that is almost on the level of those pills that are like, oh, take this pill for massive gains. I mean, it's that kind of just idiocracy. Please do not believe this liar. That is absolute horse shit. And quite honestly, it's despicable that he's going to try to give you these exaggerated claims just to sell a product, preying on people's insecurities. That's what I hate, all these like snake oil salesmen promising these ridiculous gains with nothing to show for it. That's why I get so heated about all of these hyped products, whether it be PRP, where you're paying, over, $1,500 per session or for several sessions, or, some sort of $20,000 device that guarantees almost an inch and a half in 90 days. Please use your brains and don't get scammed.
What has been the biggest difference?
You're larger. It's girthier. If that's something that you feel that you wish were different and you have the ability to change it, why wouldn't you try it?
I do like this quote that she said when she says that, if it's something that bothers you and you have the ability to change it, like, why not change it? And I think that that is probably the best part of this video. I'm bashing this video, but enlargement is very real. It works. There's real science. There's real published data behind it. You need to have realistic goals. It literally changed my entire life as far as my confidence, how I view the world. I'd even go so far as to say my overall anger levels have decreased ever since I've gotten significantly bigger. Now, I had a pretty severe case of penile dysmorphia, but still, it made a world of difference. And so if you are suffering from something like this, it could make a world of difference for you as well.
Honestly, even if you think like you're like good or big, you could still be bigger if it's something that you want to try.
Now, conversely, here's the worst part of the video. Why would you try to convince somebody that, like, hey, I don't need this, I'm feeling good about myself, and he's like, oh, no, you should really consider this. Number one, this is a dangerous, potentially dangerous product. I have guys that have permanently broken their penis by doing things like using the BM incorrectly. So why are you trying to convince somebody to do something potentially dangerous? Okay, I know why. Because you're trying to get a sale. You're trying to use the code Alpha M to get that little bit of commission because you're a greedy piece of shit. I mean, honestly, I do think this guy has good intention, okay? He's trying to help guys that were insecure like him get bigger. It is possible, and I think that is a pretty virtuous pathway right there. But when the greed comes in and you're trying to get guys to buy these overpriced devices, and then you're trying to basically upsell them, and then on top of that you're promising artificial gains, like, that is despicable, and I can't believe people still watch this guy. And I challenge him to post his gains. If you really went to anywhere above 6 inches of girth, you don't even have to post a before and a after. Just post one picture verifying that your gains, showing that you're at least about 6.75 inches in length and just anywhere above 6 inches, and I will take down my video. Any profit that I've made from any of the content on Alpha M, I will donate to the charity of his case to prove any of the crap that he's talking about. But I guarantee you he won't, because he's lying. He didn't do nearly a good enough job talking about the potential dangers, including hard flaccid, permanent erectile function loss, nerve damage, the discoloration, even just the discoloration alone. Guys, you need to know that. And there's no way he did this for 6 months and didn't have some kind of discoloration. But guys, that's all the energy I'm going to put into this. You just need to know what is realistic and not. And guys, I made a whole video about realistic gains. You should really check that out to understand what is an actual realistic gain. If you want to learn how to get bigger by me through using actually published medical scientific literature, then check out my course below, guys. And if you don't want to pay for the course, I have countless playlists that we'll have in the description that you can check out for a bunch of free information as well. Anyways, guys, I love you. Thank you for watching. Remember, unlike Alpha M that I'm going to tell you to, oh, you need to get bigger. Guys, there's nothing wrong with self-improvement, but you are enough, guys, just as you are. All right, guys, peace and love.
Dr. Hink got the plug on the health, yeah. Got you thinking about your wealth, yeah. In his office, no stealth, yeah.